Hey, and we are back. It is Friday morning, Erev Shabbos Kodesh, Parshas vayakhel. It's the yahrzeit of Noam Melech. But actually, we didn't say talking today. Everyone's was like kind of shaking their heads why we didn't say talking today at the Kotel. But Noam Melech's yahrzeit. Duh, of course not saying talking today. So you get this before you go to shul Friday morning. This mentions to the Chazan, and if he's a Hasidish meeting fellow, maybe you can save yourself, a couple of minutes of that. So it's raining here at Yisrael. It's maybe the last time we have rain. It's kind of the end of March. It's good rain in Yerushalayim, good rain in Beit Shemesh. No baseball today, which is fine. So Parsh Yakel, it's one of those I'll say flyover parshos. We're kind of like we know this already. We know Mishkan. We had this in Truma. Let's not go crazy with this. Let's look at Parshas Para. Very few Rashis this week. So your Ma'ariv Sedra, you kind of, smooth sailing. It's separate from Pekude. So again, it's not a huge one. It's 90 or something psukim. So it's always an interesting something that comes out. There's this kliyakar that, pretty good kliyakar about Moshe gathering the people because it was Yom Kippur. People are together in Yom Kippur. People are kadosh. People are shalom. And that was a really great piece from vayakhel. But until I saw, well, it's still a great piece. Marva Shemesh has something that's so interesting as well. So vayakhel Moshe gathers or gathers the people, but it's a lashon of hithil, like it's gathered, like it was gathered by Moshe. Um, that's one question. Another question is Dvarim Asher Tiv Hashem Lasos. These are words you should do. You know, the mitzvahs you should do, maybe. What the words you should do? What mean the words you should do? You don't do words. You listen to words. You do actions. But these are devarim. Hashem Hashem lasos. And the other question is, why are we saying about Shabbos again? What's important about Shabbos? We know that Shabbos is not set off by the Mishkan. Mishkan is the Mishkan. You can't do the Mishkan on Shabbos. We know this lesson already from 2 weeks ago. And last week also, Kisisa mentioned Shabbos again. So what's this idea of Moshe gathering the people? And also it sounds like Moshe is literally gathering the people, the peh. Yakel, he didn't gather them with his hands. He's talking, just like the Torah says, Kachas halavim. We're not taking them, we're talking to them. So the question is, why does it sound like Moshe's words are literally gathering the people when you don't need Moshe to call each person separately? Because later in the parsha, there's a kol b'machaneh. Moshe tells a something, and people spread the rumor around. People spread the words around. Why that kol b'machaneh? Don't bring any more tzedakah stuff. That's a kol. But here, Moshe is literally telling all the people his devarim. What's special here? So Marva Shemesh has a really interesting idea. We talked about Moshe himself. Moshe comes down um, from Har Sinai after getting the Luchos Shneos, and Moshe has this awakening of of Shina. Let's be honest, he's with Hashem another 40 days to get Tshuva, 40 days to get the Torah again, and Moshe is literally on fire, literally coming down with Torah. And this we and the Rav Shemesh mentions that Shabbos is a special time for the tzaddik. For everybody, we all have the Shami Sarah, and whatever you kind of work on during the week, that's midah that's going to be really coming out on Shabbos. And a tzaddik has a certain disoverus, a certain awakening of Torah, of Shechina, of light that comes to the tzaddik, which is why we have tzaddikim getting these tishim together. We have in the Gemara, they used to have a kala, yarche kala. They'd meet on Shabbos before the regel, before Yontif, go travel 1,000 miles to go to Pumbedisa, go to Bavel to hear Rav speak. Thousands of men would gather together, hear Torah for the whole Shabbos. Nowadays also, you have Yarche Kala. People travel. Shabbos. Why Shabbos? Shabbos is the time when we're really getting the essence, we're really getting the Torah, Malchus Peh, Torah Shabbat Peh, the Indian of Torah, of waiting on Shabbos. And if you're a tzaddik that is teaching people, you actually, by connect to the tzaddik, you get some of this light, some of the shine from the tzaddik. And interestingly enough, the Sefer Marv Shemesh, he has a footnote. The person puts together, quotes Noam Elimelech, Sosyogim Elenu, is that the tzaddik who's davat to Hashem has certain shefa from Hashem, and you are attached to the tzaddik. You get some of the shefa, some of this bracha and parnasa through the tzaddik. So you have to be close to the tzaddik, and especially on Shabbos. That's when the tzaddik is davat to Hashem mostly. So if we are connected to tzaddik, we get some of this shine, which is why maybe people go to Varim, maybe people go to a Tish of the Rebbe, things like that, connect to a tzaddik, or not even Hasidish, but connect to a tzaddik. You get some of that shine, some of that close to Hashem through the tzaddik. And the people, therefore, when it says that people gathered, these people gathered passively, or Moshe had gathered, is because they gathered to hear Moshe. Moshe didn't call them. They were gathered to hear Moshe. The Devarim Asher Lasososam, Moshe is saying the words, he's saying Torah over, and they gathered by themselves. Literally, they heard Moshe's coming down, and they gathered. Moshe didn't gather them. They gathered to hear the words of Moshe. Moshe's coming down. We're going to hear Torah, Torah Sheba'al Peh, for the first time ever. New Chidushim, new Torah, straight from Hashem. Everyone gathered. Moshe didn't gather them. Vayakhel, they were gathered by Moshe's words. And that's what Shemesh says. And he says this is literally for all of us. El Dvarim Asher Hashem Lasos Osam. These are the words that you should do. Meaning, just like I have Torah words, and I'm saying this over on Yom Kippur, day after Yom Kippur, you also should do this as well. Meaning, you should gather not just to hear tzaddikim on Shabbos and hear Torah, but you should be like me. Meaning, these words that I'm saying, laso so some, you should do this. You should now go back to your homes and be part of a chabura, give over Torah, especially on Shabbos. Just like I have a special chidushim from hearing Hashem, I'm giving it over on Yom Kippur. So to you, these are the words that you should do. You should now go to Chabur's Friday nights, go to Shiurim Shabbos, learn with your kid, learn with your dad, learn with your neighbors. Have Chaburas because this is the time to get the Torah, because this is when the Torah is really shining on you. And these are the words of the Marv Shemesh, who will be a Noam Elimelech. Shabbat Shalom.